Identify this chord, its inversion, and how it would function in the key of C. Here's what's written from low to high. And then together you get this sound. All right, so let's figure this thing out. From low to high, the notes written are E, B, D, and then on top we have a G. To figure out the chord, stack these notes into ascending thirds. That means you're going to skip every other letter of the musical alphabet. And if you go through and do that with each one, the best option is going to be to label it some kind of E chord, because we have a third above E, which is a G, a third above G is a B, and a third above B is a D, and those are all the notes, E, G, B, D. Okay, so some kind of E chord. Now, if we look at the intervals between the notes to figure out the quality of the chord, E up to G is 3 half steps, that's a minor third. G up to B is 4 half steps, that's a major third. Minor third plus major third, that's the recipe for a minor chord. So this is an E minor chord, okay? We have the D on top, which is a 7th above the E, so this is E minor 7. That's what the chord is. Now, with the inversion, that just has to do with what's the lowest sounding note. In this case, E is down in the bass, so that means it's in root position. It's actually not inverted. And I'm going to get to why I even asked that here in a second. And then finally, how would it function in the key of C? If you know your C major scale, the note E is the 3rd scale degree. So this would be the 3 chord, which is minor. And we have it as a 7 chord. So it's a 3 chord in the key of C. Now, some of you guys are looking at this saying, well, the top 3 notes, that's actually a G major chord, GBD. And you're right, it is. If you try to spell it as some kind of G chord, it would be G major, and then we've got the E, so E is a 6 above G. So this could be G6 or G add 6, that's an option. However, I think it's a weird choice because we don't have a 7th in the chord, and also the E is way down in the bass, so what inversion would this be, right? It's not in root position, 1st inversion, 2nd inversion, not even in 3rd inversion where you'd have the 7th of the chord in the bass because you don't have a 7th here. So you'd have to say, well, it's a G6 chord and there's an E in the bass, and it's a little funky. All right, so I think the best option here is to label this as an E minor 7 chord. It's just much more straightforward than trying to move it into some kind of G major land. Hope that makes sense. I'll see you next time.